So, let's just say hypothetically, you're a 16-year-old in high school, you walk to the bathroom, there's a group of girls in there, they're all passing around their vape pens. You don't know a lot about vape, you know little, you're just kind of like, I don't know, you're kind of clueless, so you take a hit, they ask you, you take a hit. Tastes like blueberry lemonade, tastes pretty good. Brittany offers you hers tastes like Mountain Dew Code Red, it's pretty cool. Kind of like it, so then for like the next week, you keep doing that. Fourth period, you keep going to the same bathroom, the same girls in there, you keep hitting their vapes, keep doing it. Soon enough, you kind of want to get your own. So you get your older sister's friend to go buy you one, and then now, you find yourself using it all the time, any free time you have during the day when you're by yourself around, going to work, in between breaks, waking up, going to bed, you're just always hitting it. Soon enough, now if you don't take a hit, you get a headache. You kind of feel like a withdrawal. Now it's a problem, and this is something that happens to so many young kids and teenagers every day. So according to RileyHealth.com, about 78% of high schoolers have used or use vapes, and then 48% of middle schoolers have used vapes, which is like kind of shocking. Another study found that only 1/3 of 12th graders who used Juul realized that it even had nicotine. Which Juul, it's not as big as it was now, but a couple years ago, it was like one of the biggest like vaping companies. So that means like 2/3 of like 17 or 18-year-olds using Juuls didn't even have nicotine, which is kind of like, I don't know if they're just stupid or I think it's also like the label. They're kind of mislabeling on the products. They don't say like how much nicotine is actually in it. So obviously vaping is very dangerous and is not better than smoking cigarettes. It causes many physical and mental health issues among young kids. Coming with solutions to decrease its admiration by taking away a majority of the flavorings, raising the legal age, and just being better role models in general to the younger generation. So I'm sure a majority of us know what vaping is, but not exactly how it works, and I for sure didn't know how it exactly works, I guess. So the technical term is electronic nicotine delivery system, which is a term that includes vape pens, pods, tanks, mods, and e-cigarettes. And these devices originally were made to kind of stimulate smoking cigarettes or cigars, so they're like an alternative to smokers. And e-cigarettes reduce aerosol by heating a liquid that usually contains nicotine, flavorings, and other chemicals that make the aerosol, and usually it's referred to as like vape juice. It's like what's pretty much. Typically, e-cigarettes have a rechargeable part that looks like a pen or a flash drive, and has disposable cartridges that hold the flavored juice. And usually, usually the amount of nicotine in these vapes varies between the brands and like their delivery methods, and a lot of the times, like their delivery methods aren't truthful, like mislabeling. And because these products don't have the same chemical formatting as cigarettes and exclude the damaging effects of smoke, some have marketed that the use of e-cigarettes are safer than cigarettes. But as the use of vapes have increased, the health risks associated are becoming more clear. It's really not a safe alternative, as some people may think it is. So besides just having nicotine, like what makes vaping so dangerous? First, we can compare it to cigarettes. So I'll start by saying that vaping is in fact not a safe alternative to cigarettes. According to Dr. Rome of Cleveland Clinic, most popular e-cigarettes on the market, or the most popular e-cigarette brand on the market contains 3 times the amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. And he mentions that unlike cigarettes, they're smoked one by one, have an obvious like starting and end point to smoke them each one by one. When you vape, it's just continuously puffing until you run out of juice. So that's why it's like so addicting, because you're just constantly hitting it. You can't like have to get a new cigarette every time, you just keep hitting it. According to hard.org, e-cigarette vapor includes harmful substances such as diacetyl, which is a chemical linked to a serious lung disease. He also includes cancer-causing chemicals such as volatile organic compounds and heavy metals such as nickel, tin, and lead. And even though these devices exclude tar and tobacco, the high amount of nicotine gives so many young kids a first-hand experience with an addictive stimulant. So, of course, vaping is dangerous for anybody who does it, but it's especially dangerous for young kids and teenagers. Nicotine harms young brains, and the brain keeps developing until age 25. And using nicotine during adolescence can harm parts of the brain that control learning, attention span, mood, and impulse control. Whenever a new memory is created in our brains, strong connections are built between existing brain cells, which are called synapses. With young people, these synapses build very fast. It's kind of like why you can learn a language at a young age, because it just becomes easy for you. And it grows faster than those of an adult. But when you're taking high amounts of nicotine in, it slows down the building of that. So it affects the brain's development. And an obvious reason as why nicotine is incredibly bad for kids is that it increases the risk of future addiction for other drugs. So it's kind of like a ladder effect. You might be addicted to nicotine now, but in the future it could be something much worse. And one sad fact is how it affects even small kids. Children have been poisoned by either swallowing or inhaling the vape juice. And according to CDC.gov, nationally 50% of calls of poison control centers for e-cigarettes is for kids 5 years and younger because they got the vape juice either by in their eye or putting it in their mouth. So really nothing good can come from vaping. So we can't completely ban vaping. It's kind of unrealistic, but there's ways we can decrease the amount of young kids who do vape. A major way would be taking away the flavorings. I think that's like a huge part of vaping. Like the major flavor categories is like fruit flavors, candy, like sweet flavors, and then mint, and then just menthol. So Juul, like I was saying, is was one of the biggest vaping companies. It's not as big now because a couple years ago the FDA put out guidelines. Because, so I know from personal experience, when I go into a gas station, Juul would have a little container in a clear case, and they would always have mango, cucumber, mint, and menthol and tobacco. But the FDA made laws to take away the majority of their flavorings because 2 years ago Juul's had the biggest one. So many, every kid had a Juul, and they took away the majority of their flavorings. I even went on the website today, and they don't have those flavors. They only have tobacco and menthol. They don't have those other flavorings. So they helped out a little bit, but not really. According to Center for Disease Control and Prevention, among high schoolers who used flavored vapes in 2020, 73% of them had fruit flavors, 55% mints, 37% were menthol, and 36% were sweet flavors. So definitely think taking away the majority of the flavor, if vape shops stopped selling the majority of the flavors, it would dramatically drop the amount of kids who vape because that's a big reason why. Once you're addicted to nicotine, you keep using it, but if it only had menthol, tobacco flavors, okay, so I think less kids would try it if it was like that. And another proposition would be to raise the legal age, but they actually already did that. 2015, a bunch of states in the country were trying to raise the age to 21, but then in December 2019, all states went from being 18 to buy tobacco products to 21. So it's been a year and a half, and honestly, I don't think it changed much. I think if anything, more kids vape now. I mean, I'm not in high school, from what I know, it's crazier than it used to be. According to SameCare.com, over 20% of high schoolers use vape products. So changing the age to buy them really won't do anything. And people always find a way to get something if they really want it. So you can't keep raising the age 25 because then it's unfair to people who are legal. So it's just not that realistic. But I always think the biggest way we can help eliminate the amount of young kids who vape is just by educating them more in school and then just being better role models. So in health classes, like I was saying, I didn't even know that 48% of middle schoolers have tried vape or used vape. Obviously, we gotta have health classes talking more about tobacco use and vaping and how nicotine affects our brains. And I think in health classes, as early as middle school, should be talking about it and focusing on more. Because when I was in high school, they didn't really talk about it that much. A little bit with cigarettes, but not that much. And then at home, just be better role models. So, if little Susie sees her older sister vaping, she might be kind of interested in what it is and try it. And then now she's 14 years old, addicted to nicotine and vapes constantly every day. And it's gonna affect her when she grows older because her brain's so young. So yeah, as you can see, vaping is very dangerous and isn't better than smoking cigarettes. It's very dangerous for young kids in their developing brains. And there's some solutions you can do, taking away flavorings, raising the legal age, and just being better role models. But